I have always thought to myself, how does my mother continue to live and always stay positive despite her rough childhood and adulthood? I learned about her past 3 years ago. I started off by asking her, can I learn about your past? Can you tell me more about it? She said, I was raised in a not so amazing neighborhood in New York, which was called Queens. I wanted to know more, so we talked the whole night about her life's journey. She continued and said, the neighborhood I grew up in was in the projects. When I heard the word projects, I immediately got scared and afraid to know what she went through. She said, every day I heard gunshots and saw people dealing drugs to others. She even saw a dead person on the street near her house. I kept thinking to myself, how she survived through all this. She told me that she hung around with the right people to get out of the mess. She said, I was never interested in trying or doing anything that would affect my life. So I just hung around with the right friends to make better decisions. Her other struggle was not having enough money for college. She wasn't able to complete college, and she only was able to complete two college classes with low grades in them since her academic skills were not so strong. I was even devastated to hear that she didn't even have a home to live in around the age of 20. She had to live with her family members. Therefore, she had to work with her mom cleaning houses, which then affected her allergies, so both of them had to stop. I then asked her, why did you move to Florida? Well, she said, to be close to her family members, to get away from snowy conditions, and to afford homes that are cheaper. We continued talking, and every journey she talked about interested me more in it. Looking in her eyes, I saw she was exhausted, but I continued to encourage her to talk. She then continued and said, after a few years living in Florida, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was interested to know what that was, so she continued, it's a disease that affects your whole body, including your joints and bones, and can eventually lead to severe deformation of your hands and feet. It really saddened me that she developed this at a young age, around 25. She was deeply saddened to know that she would have to live with this condition or disease for the rest of her life. I would always try to comfort her by hugging and kissing her so she wouldn't feel that stress. She also had 3 surgeries done in a matter of 3 years. Therefore, she is unable to work anymore, and she applied for the disability program. Although her hands and feet are always hurting, she has so much energy throughout the day and enthusiasm. I asked her, how can you continue to live with so much energy with this disease on top of you? She said, well, why am I going to sit down and let the pain get worse? Life must be enjoyed to the fullest, and I'm not going to let a silly disease get to my brain and keep me depressed all the time. I was completely surprised by what she said. It got into my heart, and I showed her so much compassion by hugging her and letting her know that I'm always here for her. Knowing that she went through so much stress and tough times in her life, she still brought herself up by walking, exercising, and being around people. She continued moving through her life as a wonderful journey. I told my mom, you are right, life should be enjoyed to the fullest. She excitedly said, nothing better stop you from being the person you want to be. You only live once.